Hey there. Here we are again at Trouble Bar, and today we're going to do one of my favorite cocktails in the world, the Sazerac. So let's start with our ingredients. Today we're going to be working with Wild Turkey 101 rye. I am a real rye hound, so just about any rye in the world would make this drink delicious, but I really like Wild Turkey 101 rye in this because it's really bold. It really stands up to the amount of bitters and that hint of herbescent. So that's why we're going to be working with this today. Then we're going to go ham on these Peychaud's bitter chill. So a brown cocktail is going to turn bright red. And what Peychaud's does, if you are not familiar with this bitter, you can kind of see the color here in the bottom and at the top. Peychaud's is a bitter that has a really floral, almost perfumey taste, and we're going to use a ton of it in this cocktail. So if you're sitting at home and you got some like takeout lasagna or like baked spaghetti, I just realized I'm kind of hungry. So this is a great after dinner cocktail, which not a lot of people realize, but because we use so much Peychaud's bitter in there, it actually kind of acts as a as an Amaro or like an aperitivo would do in having a lot of bitter in there to kind of settle your tummy. Or you can just have it because it's delicious. Then we have a little bit of simple syrup here that we made with Demerara turbinado sugar. Now, in New Orleans, you would probably find this cocktail made with cane sugar. This is a little bit harder to find here, so we're just rolling with a little bit of an imposter Demerara syrup on our side. And then last but not least, herbescent. We did not use the classic ingredient that you would use in this cocktail for a couple reasons. We love absinthe, and we have an absinthe distillery right down the road from here over at Copper and Kings, but we really like using herbescent. It's made here in the States, and it is what bartenders would use back in the day when you couldn't find any absinthe anywhere in the U.S. because it was outlawed. So we're going to kick it old school and use herbescent. I'm going to show you two different ways actually to apply the rinse to a glass. So let's start with our whiskey here. So again, Wild Turkey rye. We're going to go full 2 ounces with this cocktail. And again, if you're at home and you don't have equipment, things like that, just remember 2-finger rule of rye whiskey. And then we're going to add 1/2 ounce of our homemade Demerara syrup. Again, if you can find cane sugar at your grocery store, highly recommend it. But Demerara or sugar in the raw will work in a pinch. Now, everybody's Sazerac is different because of this exact step that I'm about to do here, which is the application of the Peychaud's bitters. Now, I tell my bartenders here to add it until the whole drink looks pink. So you end up doing about 8 to 12. But what you're looking for is that really beautiful, almost ruby red color in there. And then we're going to add a bunch of ice. The other thing about a Sazerac is that we really want it so cold because we're going to serve this cocktail up. So it's not going to have any ice in it. It's going to be served without ice. So this part of the cocktail where we're really, adding in a lot of dilution, but also just temperature. If you're somebody who really likes to chill your glasses, that's also something you can do for a Sazerac, but I just recommend making sure it gets just a really nice dilution and chilling. And when your glass feels pretty cold, that's when you know you're ready to go. And we're just going to set this off to the side for a second. So there are 2 ways you can prep your glass for a Sazerac. This is just a little vaporizer bottle. You can buy these at Target in the airplane section. And you can take your glass and you can spray the inside with a little rinse like that, or kick it. Old school bartenders who didn't have basically to-go hairspray containers. We're just going to add a little bit into the glass. And you can do this with the lid pointing away from the opening pointing away from you. We're literally just going to toss the glass back and forth to give it a full and proper rinse. And if you have a little bit extra, just, give it a toss here. Let that extra just dribble on your bar towel a little bit. But really, it'll just stick to the side of the glass. So neither way is better than the other, I think. I like to do the rinse the old school way, where I toss it back and forth just because I think it's more fun for people to look at. But do whatever you want. You're probably at home by yourself, watching TV, staying healthy at home. All right. And last but not least, let's get this cocktail in its glass. This is a step where if you don't have a strainer at home, go ahead and, just use your bar spoon or your butter knife to hold all the ice back. But I'll go ahead and use it because I do have a bar with strainers. And you're just going to pour that beautiful cocktail right into the glass. No ice. And you've got this really just beautiful classic cocktail. You can garnish this with a lemon peel if you'd like, but drink it however you would like. Again, from our family here at Trouble Bar, we hope that you enjoy this cocktail. New Orleans is truly one of our favorite places in the whole world, and we think of them every time we sip a Sazerac. So thank you all for following along. Thank you for making cocktails at your house. We cannot wait to see you guys on the other side of this. So be well and stay healthy at home. Bye.